We're getting back online. Sorry about that. We had an air conditioner unit kick on that I didn't realize was on and blew the breaker out for me. So got everything situated back on the booth side here now as we're just waiting on the session to come up. It looks like we got 6 drivers here. You see the points there in front of you. Heat 1 underway. Warm-up's taking place. If I got everything situated correctly. Sorry about missing out on the heat. But at least we got back here for the main show. "32 seconds left in warm-up. We'll go ahead and take a look at our Heat 1 results, though, as we can do that. Heat 1 results, here they are. Randy Shreve being your winner. Bob DeGood there second. Brian Moore third. Steve Bixler fourth. Terry Landis there fifth. And Blake Chapman there in sixth. And for some reason it didn't take the... All right, there we go. Flag waves here in warm-ups. We're getting ready for the main action here from the 360s division. Take a quick look here at the... All right, here we go for the Flatline Racing bodies. Hometown Heroes 360s, the RSN Trackside Grid. Randy Shreve's out there in front. Bob DeGood there second. Brian Moore third. Steve Bixler fourth. Terry Landis there in fifth. Blake Chapman in sixth. That is your starting grid here. Everybody rolls off. Flatline Racing bodies here tonight, bringing you the Hometown Heroes. It is quality racing bodies produced by former NASCAR regional short track champion Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. All right, side by side out there, as we said, the RSN Trackside brought you the grid. RSN Trackside is New York's home for local racing and NASCAR's coverage. Season 5 with Marty and Kelvin returns this January on ROC Sports Network. If you have a business that wants to advertise in motorsports, send a message to the RSN Trackside Facebook page to learn the opportunities. "25 laps of decide who's going to be your champion here tonight. Randy Shreve's down there on the inside and Bob DeGood up there on the outside. Get a little loose already. Randy Shreve's up there to the top shelf already, getting a great run there as they come there off the corner. And in the corner number 1 and 2 as they work back out onto the backstretch. Coming down through there. There you see Landis down on the bottom side trying to get that 360 to rotate down there on the bottom. Doing a pretty decent job of it. As you see Blake Chapman back there on the bottom side as well. He's going to see if he can work his way up through the field as he'd like to try to secure another championship. Here they work off the corner. Shreve's there in front. 22 laps to go here in the Hometown Heroes 360s. Head on down through here. Blake Chapman looking to see if he can get up there and battle it out, trying to lock up some points here as he's working his way through the grid. Now looking there on the bottom side of Brian Moore. as they head here off of corner number 3, down that back straightaway into corner number 3 and 4. Heading out of 4, now back down through the front stretch. And got more up there on top. Chapman down there on the bottom. Shreves up on the top side. Kind of just ripping it along, trying to keep it as smooth as possible. And you can kind of tell those drivers that keep it out front the best are the ones that don't really put a lot of input on the wheel. Kind of take Shreve, for instance. He gets it rotated, and just look how straight them wheels kind of stay coming through the corner. Chapman is another one. Just watch how them wheels just kind of glide around the corner. Not a whole lot going on there. I mean, you're not turning them wheels on a sprint car all that much. It might look like he's wheeling it inside, but in truthfulness, the car's doing a lot more of the driving than what the driver is in some instances. Now as they come here off of corner number 2, down that back straightaway, 14 laps to go. Shreves out front. We have a caution out there. Landis in trouble, along with Bixler. I see them heading off here. Bixler up there into that outside wall. There you see Landis goes around. Take another look at it here as he comes off the corner. It's going to start with Landis going around down on the bottom side, ends up coming up the racetrack. And just nowhere for Stephen Bixler to go, and he absolutely plowed into the side of it there in that coast-to-coast flatline racing machine. And we get set to rock and roll here once again. Steve Bixler out there trying to get back up there towards the front of the pack. Or get caught up with the pack, I should say. There's only 6 of them out here. So, I guess in some ways it's kind of surprising to see one lose it like that, but I guess, you know, it is what it is. As you see, Shreves back out there on the bottom side. Here comes Chapman up there on the top side again, getting that run as much as he can off the top as he runs around here in second place. Got a 3 wide there. Now, back here for 3rd through 5th. Bob the Good getting a little trouble as now he's got problems on the front end of that machine. He is broke. He's going to bring it down there in the wrong way up pit road. As he is broke down there on the inside. Glad to see that he got it off the track safely, though. As we see Shreves and Chapman going at it for the lead. Terry Landis and Brian Moore back here going at it for 3rd and 4th. As Bixler's just rolling around back there. Bob the Good out of this race. Having broken the car through some hard racing. As they now head down here into corner number 3 and 4, back around here out onto the front stretch. Chapman getting a great run there. He does take the lead as they come here off the corner. And into corner number 3 and 4 once again, back out here onto the front stretch. 7 laps to go for Chapman and Shreves. Brian Moore, who's sitting back here 3rd right now, with Terry Landis back here in 4th. Great job by these drivers as they roll down through here as they head off into the back straightaway, and now the front straightaway. Across 6 laps to go. Blake Chapman out front. Laps ticking away very quickly here in the 360 division of the Flatline Racing Body Hometown Heroes night. Terry Landis down there on the bottom side of the raceway. Stephen Bixler there in 5th. Blake Chapman up there rolling that top side. He's going to see, or I'm sorry, no, that was Randy Shreves running the top side. Blake Chapman down there on the inside, kind of running the lower groove there, but there is a lot of grip down there on the bottom side of the racetrack, but Shreves is trying to see if he can wheel it around up there on the top side. You can see he's putting a lot more wheel into it than what Chapman is, but he's definitely found speed up there towards the top side. This is going to get interesting here as 3 laps to go. That 56 of Shreves is coming there as he's finding grip up there towards the top. Whoa, a little loose there coming off of turn number 3. And before it now here across the start-finish line, coming back around 1 and 2. Kind of where he got loose the last time. Does a lot better job at keeping it going straight as they head here through off the final time of 4. And back out here onto the front straightaway. Great run there for Blake Chapman, Randy Shreves, Brian Moore here in 3rd as they head on down through. Great job here tonight for the Hometown Heroes 360 division. Here is your finishing lineup. Blake Chapman out there in front, Randy Shreve second, Brian Moore third, Terry Landis fourth, Stephen Bixler fifth, Bob the Good there in sixth. All right, now let's see if we can get with these drivers. As something wants to give me a little bit of a headache here. Here we go. Ah, we're getting there. All right. We're back here. Now we got Brian Moore, our third place finisher. If I'm looking at it right. Good evening there. Brian, how's it going?
Oh, good, man. That was fun.
Well, you got third place. I think you had to battle Landis there for a good portion there. But looked like you were having a blast out there, even though we did have such few cars for a car count tonight.
Yeah, and that was, small car count, but still, when we get out there and we run hard like that, and you can run side by side with a guy, it still makes it fun. So, yeah, hats off to Blake there for a championship and the win tonight. So, yeah, it's hard keeping pace with that boy, but it's fun trying.
Well, Shreves, I know, was giving it all he had, too. I mean, there's always tough competition here.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, there's no slacks. Even when there's just a few guys here, usually there's, a few guys that can pull off a win. So it's hard to get one.
Yeah, those few guys know how to wheel the car.
Yeah.
But you did a great job yourself getting up here, getting that car into third position tonight. Must feel pretty good here on championship night to put on a good show here for your fans and everybody watching for you. You got sponsors, shout-outs, thank yous you want to give for anybody for helping you get into the podium position tonight.
Well, sure, the broadcast, you guys behind the scenes, all the work you guys put into this, Coast to Coast Racing League, all the work all the guys put into it. And Flatline Racing Bodies, I think, is the sponsor tonight. So give them a shout-out and thank you for sponsoring this Hometown Heroes deal throughout the whole season. So, it's cool that they do that. So, and then I want to give a shout out to Rick, my brother, and Rona, and, just the guys in Discord that jump in there and run with me sometimes. So, yeah, that's it.
All righty, well, congrats there. And sorry we didn't get the heat, but had a little bit of electrical issue here in the booth where we ended up popping a breaker trying to stay cool.
Uh-oh.
So,
you got to stay cool, man. That's important.
All right.
Well, thanks.
You have yourself a great race. You had yourself a great race there. And are we going to see you in the midgets at all?
I might not make the midgets tonight.
You might not make the midgets tonight. All right. Well, you take care and enjoy the podium here in the 360s.
All right. Thank you, man.
All right. Now, we'll get with Chapman. Wait, let me make sure that I got my thoughts processed correctly here. Now, we'll get Chapman last. We'll get Randy Shreves here next. Good evening, Randy. How's it going?
Hey, not too bad. 2 podiums so far. Can't beat that.
Now, you got second here. I can't remember what you got the last race.
Yeah, I got second the last one also.
So you haven't been able to top it yet. Are you gonna come out in the midgets and try for that podium or that top victory spot?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm not as good as in a midget as I am a sprint car, but yeah, I like driving them, and we'll give her a shot.
No, they drive differently than a sprint car for sure. They don't have the wings for the downforce.
yeah, I definitely like the wing, but yeah, the midgets can be fun also. So you just got to find a good rhythm and try not to spin that thing out because they're easy to spin out.
Well, you had a couple great races here to finish out the season here on this championship night for the Hometown Heroes. Feel pretty good out there in the 360 tonight?
Yeah, felt real good. Just trying to find the right line there, and starting up front doesn't really help you. So, the guy behind you normally figures out a different line before you do. So once they get by you, they've already got that line down, and yeah, they're just gone from there, and you're just playing catch up. And with it being Blake, man, he's a tough one to catch.
Yeah, it almost seems like he has the strategy of sitting in the back and coming from the back a little bit.
Yeah, he does that just because he's a good driver and likes the challenge. So you got to give him his props for that, and yeah, I love racing with him.
He definitely came through the field tonight. He gained 5 spots and really put on a show. But you definitely didn't let up yourself. You had a great run there in both series tonight. Looking forward to seeing you in the midgets if you come out for them. You got sponsors, shout-outs, thank yous. I mean, anybody you need to really make sure you mention for helping you get up there in the second place here tonight.
Yeah, definitely want to thank Coast to Coast, man. Everything they do, there's so many people behind it. I just want to thank all of them. There's so many, you just can't, you can't get them all. But yeah, all them guys, Flatline Racing Bodies, KSB Builders, Dylan Shrews Designs, and you for the broadcast, and everybody for watching.
All righty, well, thank you, and congrats on that podium once again.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, good evening, Blake. How's it going?
Yeah, feeling pretty good after that one. Coming off of third place, I was hoping I was able to do a little bit better in the 360s, and we found that bottom right away, and that's worked for us to get up front and come home with a win.
Well, you definitely came home with it, which locked you in. I'm quite certain for the championship here in the 360s, no question asked.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been a pretty good season for us here in these 360s. We like giving ourselves a challenge. We've been starting in the back all season, and although we don't have as high car counts in these Wednesday nights as we used to, it's still been a bit of a challenge because, with these fixed setups, it can be really tough to get separation sometimes and run different lines. So, fortunately, everybody else was kind of upstairs tonight, and we were able to work that bottom, and there was enough grip down there for us to, steal the win.
Yeah, you definitely look great out there in the number 20 tonight in both 305s and the 360s. And you come back out for the midgets?
Yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully, we're in contention for another championship there. So hopefully we'll get a good run there, and fingers crossed we'll be coming home with another championship.
Well, you're in the lead there, but only by about 3 points.
Yeah, those midgets have been exciting all season. Jack, Brandon, Terry, all those guys are super, super good in those midgets and been really tough to beat all season long. So we're definitely going to have to be on our A game if we want to come home with it tonight.
It definitely looks that way. So it'll be exciting to see how that goes for you. And hopefully you can put it up there towards the front, and we'll see how it goes. So before you go, though, you got sponsors, shout-outs, thank yous for anybody helping you get the victory here in the 360s.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank the parents for watching. Got to thank all the guys down at KSR, especially Terry for running with me every single week. Got to thank the Salty Dogs for letting us join their Discord room. Got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy and AJ Custom Creations. Got to thank Flatline Racing Bodies for sponsoring this division. Got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They have some very delicious popcorn. You can check it out for yourself. Just head over to their website, and don't forget to use code CART, that's C-A-R-T at checkout for 15% off some of their very delicious product. And I got to thank everyone involved in putting this league on and making it great and fun to run in every single week. And I got to thank you for stepping up and doing the broadcast tonight.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Always enjoy doing it, especially for the Hometown Hero guys. Kind of my way of giving back and stuff. So definitely enjoy it. You guys put on a show, and you are right. Last time I've been a a few seasons since I've been around coast to coast here, and it does seem like the numbers for the Wednesday series kind of dropped off a little bit. So hopefully we can try to get some more people interested in the hometown series again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, man.
Alrighty, congrats, and we'll see how you do in the midgets.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Blake Chapman, our winner here in the 360s, as they head on down through now, heading for the getting ready for that midget. So everybody stay tuned. We'll be back shortly with the midget series.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus. So let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding, pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, here we go. We're here looking for the midget points now, which out of all the series, this is the closest one here for the points when we look at the points breakdown. For the midgets, I mean, it's quite the breakdown here. And we'll take a look at the midget as Blake Chapman is out front with only about, I want to say 3 points, as he's at 679. Jack Hitt, he's back there with 676. And then Brandon Templeton, he's back there with 639. So, I mean, it's very close here. With Terry Landis back there with 627. So a tight field here tonight in the midget point race here tonight. So it should be an exciting race here for everybody. Again, sorry for the hiccup there through the 360s, but we did catch the main show. Brandon Templeton right now is the fastest out on track during the warm-ups or practice, whatever you want to call it. And you got Jack Hitt out there in the Hooters machine. You got Terry Landis out there as well. Jack Hitt in the Hooters machine at 217. Up there on the top shelf, Brandon Templeton, he works his way around the track. These things are going to sling around here pretty quickly. And we got, looks like maybe 8 drivers here to take the grid. Pat Boyce, I hope I'm saying that right. Bob DeGood, Steven Bixler, Blake Chapman, going for another championship if he can. But he's a little slower here tonight at a 12.185. He's got to pick up about a whole 1/10 of a second to try to get up there to battle out here tonight. And make sure, as we're sitting here waiting for this show to get going, be sure to subscribe to the Coast to Coast Racing Network here on YouTube to catch more and all of the Coast to Coast Racing League action. Have something on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. So 8 drivers out here as we see them all slinging the dirt around. Templeton as your fastest one so far. But I honestly don't hold anything to heart right now. I'm seriously saying that because if Chapman can get a groove found, he'll find a way to get up there and battle. Hang on to it as Templeton comes out there. He's looking up there toward the high side of the racetrack. Pat Boyce out there as well, as he's down there about middle of the racetrack, coming there off the corner. As they come down through here, qualifying times are going to roll in here, as they are qualifying now for the midget series here, for the midget division. Working off the corner. There, as you see, Boyce. Boyce comes in with a 12.439 for his first lap. Jack hit with a 12.179 with Templeton there in second place with a 12.185. Chapman with a 12.359. So there's your top three on the top of the leaderboard. Well, Stephen Bixler jumps in there. Then Chapman jumped back in there with a 12.301. So you got your top three of the points up at the top of the leaderboard. Getting ready for heat number one, which heat number one is brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Gambler Motorsports is an esports racing team that competes weekly across the iRacing platform. The team has drivers entered in dirt, sports, asphalt, and they even compete in endurance races. This year, we'll have drivers in the prestigious 24 Hours of Daytona and Le Mans. Go to Gambler Motorsports on Facebook and follow them. We're just waiting for them to take the grid. This should be a fun time here at the midgets. Here we go. Your grid for heat number one. Blake Chapman. Terry Landis there in second. Brandon Templeton third. Jack Hitton fourth. Stephen Bixler fifth. Randy Shreves there sixth. Pat Boyce there in seventh. And Bob DeGood rounds out your field there in eighth. So one heat here. This should be a great race. 7 laps, 6 or 7 laps is the distance. So 6 laps the distance. Now, if anybody's curious about the reason they probably did the order they did, instead of going like smallest to largest, in my opinion, they went from the easiest drive to the hardest to drive. These things are not that easy when it comes for looking for control. Definitely got to have your foot ready for that throttle. These drive a lot with throttle. That throttle on these is not an on and off switch, as some people might try to think of it. You got to ease on, ease off, and some might even say you treat it as there's an egg under the pedal. As they come down the front straightaway into corner number one, they go. Coming around there you see Blake Chapman down there on the inside. There's Landis up there towards the top side. What a great run so far here coming through. Landis there in the middle of the racetrack, really wheeling that thing to try to keep it off of drivers as he gets up there in front of Templeton. As Templeton's down, or I'm sorry, no, that was Jack Hitt. Up there, I'm sorry. Templeton's down on the bottom side of the speedway with Chapman trying to chase him down. Landis now back to the bumper there of Templeton as they roll around here off of turn number 2. Back down that back straightaway. Everybody's slinging dirt off the turn down here off of 4. Chapman out front. Templeton there in second. Landis there third. Jack Hitt there fourth. Randy Shreves there fifth. And Chapman, as we said, he's looking for another championship. He's here looking to make it a sweep in the Hometown Heroes. Can he do so as he's out there in front? Templeton there second, Landis there third, Jack Hitt fourth, Randy Shreves back here in fifth as they head on down through here. Stephen Bixler in sixth, Pat Boyce there in seventh, Bob DeGood in eighth. Terry Landis back out there in third. He's doing all he can in that 161, trying to get that up there, that 217. Of Jack Hitt slinging dirt around up there on the top side. There you see Templeton there in second. He's really trying to battle hard with Chapman. As that is going to be the way they come across the line. Let's take a look here. As your Heat 1 results come in for the midgets. Blake Chapman out front, Brandon Templeton there in second, Terry Landis there third, Jack Hitford, Randy Shreves there fifth, Stephen Bixler sixth, Pat Boyce there in seventh, and Bob DeGood in eighth. Now we got warm-ups. We'll be back shortly. Give my voice a rest.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're back here from the Speedway. Hopefully everybody's ready for some high-flying action. I got Blake Chapman out there in front as your leader after winning the heat. This is the Flatline Racing Bodies Hometown Heroes Midgets. Looks like Templeton's going to shoot up there towards the top side of the racetrack. Chapman's down there on the bottom side. Terry Landis having a little bit of issue there trying to get it rolling. "25 laps the distance. Pace car will pull off next time. Blake Chapman out there as your pole sitter, also as your champion at the moment, if he can hang on to it. We'll see if Templeton, though, has anything to say about it. As I head here off the corner, waiting for that green flag to drop. Head down and away in the corner, number 1 to go. Chapman getting it slung down there into the bottom side there as Templeton's up on the top side. Chapman really trying to get that bottom side to work as he slides it back up there, gets up there in front of Templeton. Templeton now gets up there to the top shelf now as he comes there off of turn number 2. They're 3 wide there coming off the corner. Look out, here comes Templeton as he's now going to get up there and go underneath of Chapman. Chapman losing the spot to Templeton there as they come there off the corner. Templeton really hanging it on there. Here comes Jack Hitt as he wants a piece of this as well. Down there on the inside of Chapman as they come there off of turn number 4. Back down here through the front stretch down into corner number 1. Here comes Landis now into the mix as those drivers are battling it out between Jack Hitt and Mike Chapman. Working it out for second and third. And now you see Hitt down there on the bottom side. Now he might go to the lead. Here coming off the corner. Man, oh man, I don't know who's going to take your championship here tonight. 21 laps to go. These drivers just all battling out. We're top 4 in points all right there at the top 4 of the leaderboard as they come there out of turn number 4. Or I'm sorry, turn number 2 down here into corner number 4. Now here across the start-finish line, 19 laps to go. As you see Templeton up there on the top side. There you see Chapman there in the middle of the racetrack. Landis down there on the bottom. Looked like Templeton ended up getting up into the outside wall a little bit there through turn number 2. As now he guys to gather it back up. That allowed Shreves to get around him. As now Shreves, oh no, and up throws Templeton. Templeton up and over. He caught the rear of Shreves. He got that right rear of Shreves, popped that front end up, and then went for a ride. Here we'll watch it as he comes off of turn number 4. There you see Shreves down there. He's sliding up here. He's going to try to get it cut back down, but cannot quite get there. Well, I guess he does. It's coming off of 2, I guess, where they come together. As you see Shreves, he's trying to keep it down there. Templeton up there on the top shelf, back here off of the corner. As they slide up there, I think Shreves knew he was sliding up. And he just didn't get it cleared enough and bounces that front end of Bob the Good up. Bob the Good ends up into the outside wall. And then in there and hook and over, and there he goes through the catch fence down there along the top edge of the racetrack. Does get it flipped back over. We'll have to see what type of damage is left of that machine. Tough break there for Templeton as they were racing hard. They're racing really hard in the midgets here tonight. Jack Hitt out front there. As you got Chapman there second. Landis there third. Shreves there fourth. Trying to get this cut back up here, and I don't know why it's not. There we go, green flag racing. I don't know what the heck was going on there with my camera work. 12 laps to go. Jack Hitt out front. That fit there in second. Landis there in third. And you got Shreves up there on the top shelf coming down there in quarter number 3 and 4 now as they work here off of the corner down across the stripe. Jack Hitt out front. Chapman there in second. Chapman really going to try to get up there to Jack Hitt. Jack Hitt's not that far behind him in the points as they come here off the corner. It's going to be a close points race here as they come through. I don't know if they get bonus points for winning their feet or winning their heat or not. That might be a saving grace there to Chapman, but I'm just not sure. It's going to be close. If Jack Hitt comes out here and wins this here, as he's out front right now. Chapman second, Randy Shreves there third. Terry Landis down there on the inside. Templeton up there on the outside as they keep rolling through. Pat Boyce up there in sixth. Stephen Bixler in 7th. Bob the Good back there in 8th, just rolling around there, just trying to keep the car in one piece. So luckily, Templeton doesn't hurt too bad as he's back up there along the top edge of the racetrack. He's rolling it along there, trying to gain on the drivers out front. Shreve sitting there battling with Landis for that 3rd spot. Landis currently has it. Shreve brings it back along through on to corner number 1 they go. Chapman now, he's trying to see if he can get that outside lane to work a little bit as they go sliding on there through turns 3 and 4. Back out here across the stripe. 4 laps to go as they come back down here through the bottom of the racetrack. In the corner number 2, off of the back stretch into 3. That's Chapman down there on the bottom side. Jack Hitt up there on the top side. Landis there in 3rd. As you got Shreves rolling around there as well, doing a great job trying to get that car up there towards the front. I'm sure he feels bad for what happened to Templeton, but Templeton's right there behind him, so it's not too terrible from where he was at. 2 laps to go here for Jack Hitt as he's out front. Chapman doing all he can down there on the bottom side, trying to get that number 20 up there towards the front. I can't quite get it. Oh, look at him skate that bottom of the speedway. Just not enough grip down there as of yet. Final lap, he's going to give it all he's got down there on the bottom. Sliding it up, he's going to sling it back in down there on the bottom side once again. Down there for Chapman coming here off of turn number 4. Not enough as it will be Jack Hitt for the win. Coming here off of turn number 4 here tonight. Chapman there in 2nd, Landis there 3rd. Oh, here we go. Here's your finishing results for tonight's midget division of the Flatline Racing Bodies Hometown Heroes. Jack Hitt will bring home the victory here in the feature. Blake Chapman there 2nd, Terry Landis there 3rd, Randy Shreves 4th, Brandon Templeton 5th, Pat Boyce there in 6th, Bob the Good 7th, Stephen Bixler rounds out your field in 8th. All right, I'm glad I'm not a scorekeeper here. That would have been some. That would have been some definitely points adding up that needs to be taking place here. All right, here we go. Good evening there, Terry. How's it going?
All right, Adam, how are you?
I'm doing well. Well, you got another podium for tonight.
Yeah, I'll take this one.
Well, how'd that midget feel compared to the other cars tonight?
Oh, this thing's a dream to drive compared to the other two. You just got to set the weight in the rear end, and it drives itself right around the turn.
Now, from my experience, a little bit of driving is you're really constantly playing with that throttle to really keep that car straight, right? They steer a lot with the throttle.
Most definitely. Yep, that's what I mean. You just got to get the right RPMs through the turn, and you'll do pretty good.
They definitely have a sweet spot on that pedal that they really like. Otherwise, they either push or they just spin themselves right around.
Yeah, and sometimes when you get down too low and you step on the gas, it just pushes right to the wall. That's one thing you got to look out for.
That's what I said. It either pushes like a dump truck or it just wants to spin itself around.
Yeah, it almost caught me by surprise. What was it, turn 3, I think? It was getting slick and you couldn't really see it. You didn't really know where the slick spot was until you're like halfway through it, and then you get sideways.
Yeah, they can sneak up on you. But you look great out there. I know you were battling Shreves there for a good portion as well. Once again, back here for that 3rd spot. But you did great. I mean, it must feel pretty good up there getting another podium tonight.
Oh, heck yeah. And the 305s, that was a blast. It's been a long time since I won a race flag to flag like that. That was pretty cool.
Well, congrats, and congrats on getting the 3rd place here. You got sponsor shout-outs, thank yous for anybody?
Oh, yeah, I want to thank you for putting the show on, of course, and Flatline Racing Bodies, because sometimes something happens. And if you got a new car, they're the place to call for a new body on it. And C2C giving us a place to race. All the admins back there, we know what they do, and they put up a lot of time for that. and Kreitzoll Track Parts, get some new parts for your car, and KSR, them guys back there, Blake, it's always fun to race with, always teaching me how to run down low even better. Galen's Homegrown Popcorn, use the word cart and check out and get 50% off. Cheater, grab a Cheater because they're really good, and then my wife Judy.
All righty, well, congrats, and you have yourself a wonderful night, and you did a real great job handling them cars tonight.
Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it.
Terry Landis, our third place finisher. Now we'll get with Blake Chapman, our second place finisher here in the midgets. Good evening, Blake. How's it going?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. I was hoping for obviously a win in these midgets, but as soon as Jack got around me, I knew I was probably going to have to just try and follow him the best I could and try and hold on for second. And went down to the bottom there in the last 2 or 3 laps. So showed him down there a little sooner. Felt like there was definitely something down there, but now we know for the next time we run the midgets at this track, just hopefully maybe this track might be in the rotation next season. Not sure what tracks we're going to be at, but definitely had a lot of fun with these guys all season long running these things.
Well, I know coming into this week, your points were sitting at 679. Jack Hitt was at a 676, so I don't feel comfortable making the call that you have this.
Yeah, I think he probably got me there. I know he was a lot better in qualifying. We really sucked in qualifying. He's better in qualifying, and then obviously he got us there in the feature too. So if I had to guess, I'm not exactly sure what the drop weeks look like, but if I had to guess, I'd say he's probably won it again. I don't know how many midget championships he's got now, but congrats to him on another one. He's definitely a master in these things, and I showed up last season not really very good in these midgets at all, and I felt like I've gotten a lot better and been able to compete just learning from guys like him and Brandon and Terry. Those guys are really, really fast in these midgets. They know what they're doing, so just being able to sit behind and kind of learn from those guys has definitely made me a better driver in these things.
Well, I know that it's definitely shown here. You're definitely if you say you were no good last season, you're sitting here at a position that another position forward you could have come home with the championship this season.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely a goal coming down the stretch. Didn't think I was really going to have much of a shot at it at the start of the season. Like I said, Brandon, Terry, and Jack, they're just so good. I figured those guys up top. But, yeah, we had some really good runs. We've had some bad runs. If we could have just turned one of those bad runs into a good run, maybe we could have come home with the championship. But, again, congrats to Jack on the championship, and got to thank him for the admin, too. He was the admin all season long in these things. Got to thank him for that. And, everybody that showed up in these midgets, no, we didn't get very high car counts, just like the other cars. But these guys that did show up, I think I can't speak for everyone, but I know I had a lot of fun all season long.
Well, it looked like you had a blast out there, and hopefully you can make a better run at it next season.
Yeah, that's the hope. I don't think I'm going to be able to make all the weeks next season, but, just going to try and do the best that we can every week that we show up.
All righty, well, congrats, and we'll catch you later. Do you have sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank again for helping you get into yet another podium tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank the parents, grandparents for watching all season long. Got to thank the boys down at KSR, especially Terry, for running with me every week. Got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations. Got to thank Flatline Racing Bodies for sponsoring this division. Got to thank Steve at Steve's Custom Golf Clubs. Got to thank Mauer Farm Management. Of course, I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They have some of the best popcorn out there. You can check it out for yourself if you head over to their website. And don't forget to use code CART at checkout. That'll get you 15% off. And I got to thank everyone involved in this league for making it so much fun to run in. And I got to thank you for stepping up and doing the broadcast.
All righty, well, thanks a lot for coming out and joining us. And congrats on your previous championships there in the 305s and the 360s. And just didn't, unfortunately, take the sweep here.
Thanks, man.
Blake Chapman, our second place finisher. Now we'll get with Jack Hitt. Jack, how's it going?
Doing good, Adam. Welcome to Wednesday nights.
Well, I understand you're the man to beat here in the midgets.
I mean, I might finish on top in points, but I don't know if I'm always the man to beat.
Well, I was told that you've won a few of these midget championships here.
Yeah. I don't know how many. Probably 5, 6, 7. I don't know. There's some trophies here.
And you're sitting in a pretty good position to possibly have another.
Yeah, not sure what it was. I think I was down by 3 or 4 points or so coming in. I know I made 3 up in qualifying.
Well, yeah.
So
Chapman was at 679 coming in, and you're at a 676 coming in.
Okay, so I
close enough. I don't feel comfortable making the call.
Well, I think I got 3 points just in qualifying on him, so hate to say it, but I think I got another trophy.
We'll have to wait for the official results to come out, but with the way, talking to Chapman, talking to you, it almost sounds like it's leaning in your favor a little bit.
Yeah, but kudos to him, man. I heard a little bit of his broadcast. He hasn't been rising these things consistently, and don't let him fool you. He didn't suck last year. He might have gotten better this year, but he was definitely pretty fast still, and he's fast in everything he does, and we got partial season of him coming up, and I can't let him get the last one on me, so had to go get this one.
Alrighty, well, congrats there tonight, getting the victory. You got sponsor shout-outs, people you'll want to thank for helping you get that victory here tonight?
Got to thank you for jumping in, putting on this broadcast, also doing Thursday nights. You do a great job. Hopefully we'll have you around for a while. Got to thank all the guys that showed up this season. Like Blake said, we had low car counts, but we probably put on some of the best races. And like I told Terry, you can't get 20 cars on camera all the time anyway. So it was fun, man. Good season, and got to thank everybody behind the scenes making things go around. Big shout out to Bill Calder. He's probably the biggest cog in the wheel. And got to thank my wife for giving me time to do it.
Well, I mean, you could try to get 20 midgets on the track, on camera at once.
Yeah, I'd be all for it, but, I think we had a good handful here. We had Brandon, Terry, Jeff, Bob, Steve.
Yeah, you had 8 of you tonight.
Yeah, then that's a good core group that we had most of the season, and I think we had some pretty good racing. So it was a really fun season.
You definitely didn't disappoint tonight in any of the races that were going on for the Hometown Heroes, and you definitely put on a show tonight.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for being there and letting us watch it.
Oh, my pleasure. It was my pleasure to be here. So, again, congrats on the victory. Putting that Hooters midget out there in the victory lane. Should be feeling pretty proud of that.
Yeah, it always feels good to get the win, like I said, especially with these guys. So hopefully anybody out there watching, if you want to come get that trophy away from me next season, we could use all the cars.
All right, there you have it. Jack's saying he's got the trophy up to grabs. If anybody's wanting to try to challenge him for it, come out and join us.
All right, thanks, Adam.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Congrats. Enjoy that victory and possible championship as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, there you have it tonight. Jack Hitt being your winner here in the midgets. As we go and get ready to sign away here. What a great night it was. A driver put on the show for us tonight. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the show that we brought to you here from Flicker Farm TV, bringing it here to Coast to Coast Racing Network on YouTube. Catch you tomorrow night as we get with the championship night of the modifieds and then the pro late models. So be sure to check us out tomorrow night. Make sure you hit that subscribe and ring that notification so you can go and make sure not to miss that show. It should be an exciting time coming up through here. There's a few things here before I sign off tonight. I just want to give a few shout-outs here. Definitely want to shout out Coast to Coast if you're looking for other racers that enjoy racing without all the drama and name-calling of normal iRacing. Come out and join the Extreme Speed TV Coast to Coast Racing League. 17 divisions, 5 days a week, currently broadcasting 6 divisions. And members know that they are a part of something bigger than just an on-track experience. Also, we want to give a shout-out to Stephen King Foundation. The Stephen King Foundation was formed to help the dirt track racing community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crew members, racing officials, track operators, track operations personnel, or the immediate families of those individuals who suffer serious illness, injury, or death. Flatline Racing Bodies, definitely got to shout them out again for being such a supporter of the Hometown Heroes Night here. Quality racing bodies produced by former NASCAR region short track champion Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Replays on certain nights are brought to you by Malcolm's Mills, based in Oakland, Ontario, Canada. Malcolm's Mills Millwrighting is a full-service millwrighting contractor featuring custom welding, fabricating, and servicing industrial clients. I don't know if I have much of it here. And next week we got the week 13, so I'm not sure what Coast to Coast has in store for us for that. So definitely keep an eye on it as we head off here tonight. Thank you all for watching. It's been great. It's been the show's been wonderful here tonight. Can't wait to see what tomorrow night brings us here at Coast to Coast Racing Network. Everybody have a great night, and we'll catch you later.